The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah!
Go Cowboys!
Let's go, baby!
Are you ready for a break?
Yes.
Are you ready for a break?
Absolutely.
Ready for a break?
Yeah, and so much for that.
It's time for The Break on DallasCowboys.com.
We were on the break!
With Ambar Garcia, Bryan Broaddus, Voch Lombardi, and Derek Eagleton.
It is Friday, October 3rd, 2025, season 21, episode number 50. Welcome to the latest edition of The Break Live from the SWBC Mortgage Studios at the Star. We're presented by LG. LG is the world's #1 OLED TV brand for 11 years and counting. See why at LG.com/OLED Evo. It is a Friday, and we are going to talk Cowboys versus Jets. We'll get you ready for that game Sunday. It is a noon game, Central Time. Amber and I will be traveling up. Bryan and Voch will be creating content back here in Dallas. So it will be a weekend full of Cowboys football for all you fans out there listening. So let's get them started.
You sure did make that sound fun to say that me and Bryan not invited to go to New York with y'all.
No, y'all always invited. No, I will tell you this. When this man worked for us, like full time, he came in my office one day and was like, man, I want to keep working for you, but I ain't going to keep traveling. Yeah. And that was it. He was like, I'm out. He was like, I'm out. He's like, I'm out. So I don't think Bryan wants the invitation. He's like, I'm good. I don't need to go.
I can go? Can I go? Hold on, bro. Wait time, Bryan. This is very important. Can I go?
Yeah.
Man,
All you got to go do is buy a flight.
Oh, all right, never mind.
You're more than welcome to go.
What we doing.
I can actually get you a credential at the game if you can get there.
Don't even worry about it, man. Does Amber have to buy her flight?
No, she doesn't.
I bet.
But it's different. It's different.
Man, it's Friday, man. What we got on this?
She's won like eight Emmys. So,
yeah, she's the most decorated person in the building. But I mean,
I bet she did. You have to pay for it prior to winning your Emmy?
No, we could see. We had the vision for her. Yeah.
Ain't no vision for old Voch, boy. Ain't no potential for old Voch over there. Just show up and leave, sir. It's all right. Friday on the break, boy.
Friday on the break.
I'll tell you this though, Derek. He actually did me a favor. He did. He looked at me. You sure? And
he ain't doing me one.
Well, but I'll tell you what.
If you were here at the time, you could have taken this spot.
We got this beautiful studio, the beautiful television studio. We created one of an outstanding pre and post game show on that thing.
There you go. We sure did, and it's still going to this day.
Going to this day.
Well done.
I still have one of the best memories. It was that trip. I will never forget.
Buffalo.
Buffalo.
Tell us how great it was.
Buffalo.
Yeah, what happened?
Listen, it could not have gone worse. It was the worst trip ever, but there was a storm and we couldn't land in Dallas, so we were just going around in circles and circles and circles. And then we had to go to Houston and land there so we can get fuel and refuel the airplane. And then for those who know Rob Phillips, I mean, Bryan couldn't do this because he doesn't have the hair, but Rob's hair was like this. He was just pulling his hair.
By the way, Rob hates flying.
Rob and I.
And Bryan is like, okay, if we land here to get gas, I'm getting out. Who's coming with me? I'm going to rent a car, and I'm going to drive back to Dallas.
Rob Phillips and I, if they open that door, Rob and I were going to jump down out of the plane and go to the tarmac.
Don't need stairs. You just go jump off.
And I looked at, and then Mickey's like, we're circling. And Mickey was making fun of it. But yeah, Rob and I hated. We flew through some of the worst weather ever.
It was terrible.
It was terrible.
You know, we're thinking about, I think that would probably make the cut. We're thinking about doing a documentary at some point.
About road trips?
All the great stories of DallasCowboys.com, because there's so many really good ones. So many really good ones. That would be a lot of fun. But
you know how we talked about the other day about players laughing after a loss or whatever, like in the plane.
They were having a good time.
I have the biggest pet peeve when there's like a bad turbulence or you're moving around and people are like, like enjoying it. I'm like, shh, I can't cuss. But it drives me nuts. Anyways,
all right,
it was fun times.
Well,
that was your last trip,
Amber
right?
and I will be. Amber and I will be in New York. Voch and Bryan will be holding it down back here in Dallas.
Like we talked about 5 minutes ago.
Yeah. It's going to be a good week. All right, let's talk about some injuries. Cowboys injury report still pretty large. I think today's a big day for a lot of guys. What are we hearing? Are we hearing anything about the progress that any of these guys have made and what we can expect Sunday?
I could fill you in on two of them.
All right, let's go.
For sure. Okay, and it's on the left side of your offensive line.
Okay.
Is what it is. As of right now, and Voch and I were doing our show this morning, so coming over, I don't know if this has been updated or not, but I haven't heard back. But I do know that as this morning, like at 6 a.m., they had not gotten through protocol yet. So that's still something that has to be done, whether it's today, tomorrow, but they have to figure that one out. Yeah. And then with Smith, his situation is this is going to be a game time decision. So now the plan is for him to dress and then see what happens from that point on, or in the pregame, at least take on the trip and see what we got there. So,
is it a pain situation as far as that's concerned? Like, are they gauging the pain as far as how does he feel that morning to make that decision?
I think it's, to me, just listen to talk. They know what it is. It's been the tendonitis that's been a problem, and they've been trying to manage that. It doesn't sound like to me there was anything structurally that was more significant than what the tendonitis stuff was. But they're gonna have to see. I mean, he's gonna right now it's looking like it's, like we said, a game time decision. This afternoon we'll get all the guys that are going to be in or out. But that one, I think they're going to carry it to Sunday and see how it goes. So this could be a really, you could potentially have just your right tackle being the only starter that you have for your team.
Man, how much does that concern you against this team particularly?
Well, okay, go ahead, man. Go ahead. You got this team. You got the Jets.
Well, Bryan, I think the Jets that you get this year, they're not like the Jets that we saw, 5 or 2-3 years ago.
The Bob Saleh Jets.
Yeah. They had all the pass rushes up and down. I think you just have to deal with Quentin Williams, which is a lot to deal with. And, if you can handle him, I think for the most part, then I think you can kind of live and, we'll see what happens here. Right. But when you dealt with a guy like him, Dexter Lawrence, right, you at least had Booker around to kind of help with, some of that power there. So Hoffman and Bass, and this is something I'm having, many convos with, different various people online. Brock Hoffman and Bass are doing well. But, those Dexter Lawrence types are different. Those Quentin Williams types are very different than Jervon Dexter or, some of these other guys. So it's going to be a huge test to kind of deal with that. And, Dak is good with nonsense on the outside. But with that middle situation happening, it gets even worse. So if you go into this game and Big Tyler's not playing and Tyler Guyton's not playing, let's just say both of them aren't. Yeah. Nate could play either, but you need like one more guy. So is this like a key?
Who is that guy?
Adeniji, I think is going to probably.
I came Adeniji at left tackle.
I think it would probably be Adeniji and
at guard.
Left tackle.
Or tackle, and then you slide Nate to.
Yeah, I think that to me there's a couple of different ways. And listen, we need to kind of see what's going on with some of the other things that they might do there on the offensive line. I know it's not a lot. There are not a lot of options. They brought in a guy they signed before the season, that kind of thing. So, we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. But my gut feeling is that Adeniji and Thomas will be in some combination. We just need to figure out which is which. There have been some talk that maybe Adeniji could play the guard spot. I think maybe Thomas has shown that he could play the tackle. He did it last week. Heck, before the injury to Guyton, they were actually rotating the right tackle. They were giving Thomas some work with Steele without injury. That was just probably, Voch and I talked about that this morning, was that you're in a situation where maybe the coaches came in there, the offensive line coaches said, listen, we need to get Thomas on the field more. There's something there we need to work with. And so they were doing it last week, even though the head coach says he's not really interested in doing that. Here we are today. But that left side could be,
compromised.
Yeah, it could be compromised.
Let me ask you this. Is Hoffman a better center or guard?
I like him better as a center because he gets a lot of help at center. I don't think he's a terribly powerful guy. I think a lot of people see his chippiness and they'll call that him being powerful. I don't think he's powerful. I think he'll fall down on people that's fallen down already, and he'll kind of be aggressive, but I wouldn't call him super strong. I want my guards to be powerful, because then you can go help the center as a powerful guard. I'm leaving him at center, and I'm not moving. But you talked about this a couple weeks ago. Maybe the move is put Keegan at center, and maybe Hoffman and Bass run guard for you. That may be an option for you because, hell, you out of everything at this point.
Yeah, Trevor Keegan And I mean, that one was one of those very quiet moves that was made before. And then we know because of the familiarity that he had, playing, with your line coach here. So that's one of the reasons why they claimed him. And he's been a guy. So Trevor Keegan might be a guy that all of a sudden you're seeing this number 76 out there, and you're kind of like, whoa, who is that? Well, that's who Trevor Keegan is. And like I say, he was with the Philadelphia, waived him. He was with them this summer. And then because of the familiarity, here's a depth piece. But now you're kind of into backup to backup.
Yeah.
And now you're at this thing, and Johnny Cornelius is a guy too. I know Voch we've talked about him on the draft show a bunch. Was this guy, and potentially was he a guard? That was he a tackle that they wanted to make a guard, but it looked like to me in training camp and all that they kept him at tackle. So there are a lot of moving parts with this offensive line, right?
So with the changes in the offensive line currently, I mean, would you guys try to lean more on the running game or like the running back, or try to keep relying on Dak, hopefully getting rid of the ball pretty quickly and accurately?
It all gets worse. I don't think you need to try to change who you are. I think what's going to happen is they're going to try and just see what happens. And if we can run the ball, I think they're going to run the ball. If, we're not getting too much pressure and we can block them up just fine. It may not be all the pressure in the, you may not get all the time in the pocket you actually want. You may have to change some things up. But I think they're going to give it a good shot. And I'll say that's what I like about Dak and Shotty this year is that they'll try it and see what happens, and then they'll figure it out. And once it's figured out, foot's on the gas at that point. But it may take a drive or two.
Derek, you might have to ask a question.
Sure, absolutely.
Real quick.
Yeah, Bryan Bros.
And I just are they going to be asking too much of Dak? And I mean this in a game where are they going to be asking too much of him? Is it getting to the point? Dak, don't focus on the money, but Dak has played at an MVP level. But now it's getting
down. Like you said, don't focus on the money. The first thing that popped into my head, for that money, I'll be asking all the things.
No, but that's what I'm saying. I mean, focus on. Me personally, I'm interested to see what you guys see because I feel like that he's playing at an MVP level. And to me, that's kind of where I'm hopeful in this game. There, he might be down all these linemen. He's probably going to be down receivers again. Are they asking a lot of him? And are we okay with that?
Well, I'll tell you this, Bryan. I was I assume you guys watched that game last night, and as I was watching that game, I was thinking to myself, this is what you would consider to be a masterclass in coaching. You think about over the last, 5 to 6, 7 years, San Francisco, probably a little less than that. But you think about how that offense ran. You had Christian McCaffrey, you had George Kittle, you had Deebo Samuel, you had Ayuk, you had Juszczyk, and the vast majority, you had Purdy running quarterback. The vast majority of those guys were not playing for San Francisco last night. And they had Mac Jones at quarterback. Yeah. And that offense was dicing them up. They were moving the ball, regularly moving it. Yeah, they were moving the ball. Yeah. And I'm like, if there are times when you see teams that just because of the way they're coached, they have the ability to absorb even a large amount of defections, whether that be through injury or losing players, and they're still able to be productive. This, to me, is going to be a game where, yes, it's putting a lot of pressure on Dak. It's putting even more pressure on Shotty and his coaching staff. And I think we're going to learn a lot about this coaching staff's ability. I think we've already learned some things because what they did last week against a good Green Bay team with half of their offensive line missing, I thought was impressive. Now, if you go into this game and let's say worst case scenario, you lose 4 of your starting offensive linemen, and your top wide receiver and your third wide receiver, and this offense still moves the ball, now I'm like, this coaching staff knows what they're doing, and that will be credit to the offensive line coach. That will also be credit to Shotty and this offensive staff. So I think, to answer your question, yes, it puts more pressure on Dak, but I think even more pressure goes on the head coach and the offensive staff and seeing what they can do even without their best parts.
I see a few people here saying, oh, Dak can't handle it. He's a badass. Let the run game help Dak. Yes, it does put a lot of pressure on Dak. So there is a good mix of now Dak is ready to be able to handle that kind of pressure given the way he's been playing all season long so far. But also, yes, you are risking a lot of things by letting him be the guy. So hopefully, and we've seen Shoddy. I mean, the way he's managed this, and we saw it last week, I trust that they do have the personnel on offense to be able to deal with these new hurdles that they're facing with all these injuries. But I'm curious to see how long that lasts if all these injuries continue to pile up.
I think Dak and Shoddy are so locked in right now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even think it's difficult to them. And, credit to the Jets and all that. Like I said, they once were, much more scary, I say, on defense. I don't think that's the same defense, but regardless, even it could have been the Packers defense. Dak was comfortable last week. Dak was comfortable in Philly. I think, Shoddy's not getting in Dak's way. And I think if it was some other head coach, some other administrator, some other play caller that don't work here no more, I think that Dak would have to worry about that scheme versus whatever's happening with defense or whatever. I think Dak and Shoddy are down to a point to where they don't call nothing unless Dak loves it. And I think that's where you see some of this comfort come from. As far as the offensive line goes, Dak's dealt with Chuma Adoga and Ty and Seki and all these guys, Cam Irvin and Fleming. I don't think brand new turbulence is gonna be bad for him. And look, on those same offensive lines, Connor Williams was out here getting run all over the place. Broaddus was, giving up nonsense in the middle. So I think Dak is so hardened to this level of adversity and mess, for lack of better words. I think he looks at it. And I said this on my other show. I'll just say this. I think Dak sees this and he sees it as an opportunity to kind of puff his chest out and brag a little bit if he can overcome it. I think Dak is very aware of what the conversation is around him and his 60 a year. I think when he goes out there versus Green Bay with no Lamb and all this kind of stuff, I say, look at what all y'all talking crazy on TV, all you on social media, Shady McCoy with your goofy self. Look at what I can do. Look at what I can do without that. So I think Dak is going to take this as an opportunity without Turpin and 80% of your offensive line missing?
Yeah.
I think Dak is going to use this as an opportunity to go, look at what I can do.
Hey, if he does that, go and write it in. MVP.
Put him in there.
MVP. Like that, this will take an MVP type performance from Dak for them to be successful this weekend. I know it's just the Jets, but it doesn't matter. Like
it's NFL.
When you've got this many parts out and this many critical parts out, I think we're about to find out a lot about this team. Because also, let's remember, for the last several years, last few years, every time you lose one of those top wide receivers, your offense screeches to a halt.
Yep.
Or a running back, for that matter, right? This team so far was able last week without their top wide receiver and probably their top offensive playmaker to still put up 40 points. Now let's see if you take away their most dynamic offensive player and more of their offensive line, can they do the same thing? And if they do the same thing, Dak is on a whole different level this year, and that's when you start thinking, okay, there's some possibilities for what this team can become this year.
Honestly, I think that's why I'm so mad at Flus and what he's doing, right? Because I can see the other side going, all right, y'all, we got a new adversity every single week, but they're still figuring this. And I think the Cowboys offense is getting better through this adversity. And we looking at the defense like, man, I know you ain't got 11, bro. But do something. Do something with your adversity. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to talk forever about that. We got to go into a late break here. But damn, Flus, please.
All right, let's take our final.
3 punts is all we need.
Let's take our first break. We're going to come back. Got a little Yeti time with AG. We'll see what Amber's got in store for us. We'll be back. DallasCowboys.com radio.
If you can't be at the stadium, there's no better way to watch your Cowboys than on an LG OLED Evo TV. That's because everything you see is more lifelike. Every play, every hit. I mean, you might as well be on the sidelines. That's how clear it is. It's all thanks to LG's legendary technology. Perfect black, over 8.3 million self-lit pixels. No one comes close. LG OLED Evo is the best TV in the game for a reason. See for yourself at lg.com/OLED Evo.
I'm home. Hey, Mom, before you ask, I've done my homework and the dishwasher's unloaded.
Nice. Hey, can you... Hey, hon, yes, I've got the finale ready to play. Here's your wine.
Wow. Isn't it nice not having to ask? We think so. That's why if there's a network interruption, AT&T will proactively credit you for a full day of service. Guaranteed. Credit for fiber downtime lasting 20 minutes or more, or for wireless downtime lasting 60 minutes or more caused by a single incident impacting 10 or more towers. Restrictions and exclusions apply. See att.com/guarantee for details.
Hey y'all, Matt Pittman here. As the official pitmaster of the Dallas Cowboys, you know I take cookware seriously, especially when it comes to America's team. So when the Cowboys are away, I'm putting my Yeti cast iron skillets to work to make my game day favorites for friends and family. I'm talking chicken fried steak, skillet queso, and peach cobbler. And just like the Cowboys are forever, so are these heirloom cast iron skillets. Check out the full line of skillets on Yeti.com or at a Yeti store near you.
If you shout, "How about them Cowboys?" you have that undeniable passion that's the heart of Cowboys Nation. And if you like to drink Dr. Pepper, you love the unique blend of its 23 flavors. Together, your one-of-a-kind fandom paired with the one-of-a-kind taste of a delicious ice-cold Dr. Pepper is the game day lineup that can't be beat. Better yet, gather your Cowboys and Dr. Pepper fan friends to watch the next game and crack open a delicious ice-cold Dr. Pepper for everyone. The wins will be even tastier. It's a pepper thing.
Don't put off getting your oil changed, Dallas. Take 5 Oil Change, a proud partner of the Cowboys, is faster than you think. They're so fast, you don't even have to get out of your car. You can take advantage of Take 5's stay-in-your-car 10-minute oil change at any of their locations across the Dallas area. And remember, at Take 5, you stay in your car because they're faster than you think. That means you won't even have time to show off your best touchdown celebration. Take 5, the official oil change of the Dallas Cowboys.
Back to the break.
AT&T connecting changes everything.
Welcome back.
AT&T, the best at connecting you with everything.
Welcome back. A second segment.
That's on the
break. Live from the
said that all year.
SWBC Mortgage Studios at the Star. It's time for a little Yeti time with AG. Yeti, you're up. Amber, you're up.
This segment is presented by Yeti. Officially licensed Yeti cowboy gear is now available at Stadium Pro Shops, concessions, and on Yeti.com. I speak 3 languages, okay?
What's the third?
They're all kind of messed up, but I still speak them.
What's the third?
French.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Oui.
I've been telling you, this is the most talented person in the building.
S'il vous plaît.
Everything.
S'il vous plaît.
But they also just said we should have had this game sent to us yesterday.
Yeah, we should have got
Okay, guys, listen. The way to success is for you to be able to improvise at any time.
Cowboy
What had
offensive line.
happened is
I can say at least one thing in 7 different languages, though. Like one sentence in 7 languages.
I had a different game planned for today, but I accidentally deleted it from my notes, and it's not in my trash or anything. It just disappeared. So I improvised, and I brought up another game that we have played in the past, except
So
for
you basically
Voch.
turned in last year's homework because you lost today's homework.
It's a button. You should
Worry
be able to
about
undo
you.
it, right?
No, it doesn't
Don't
have.
worry about
Not on the
you.
notes on the computer. Okay, all right. So we're gonna build a player.
What's the difference between clutchness and clutch factor?
Oh,
She did this on the fly, Derek. What you doing, man?
oh my God.
I'm sorry, man.
Get yourself some good teammates, and that will lead you to success. When you have trouble in communication, it leads
All right.
you to failure.
Okay, all right.
Just get people
all
that's
right.
gonna laugh.
Okay.
When you delete your
See Cowboy
So-
defense 2025.
We're gonna build a player, and we're gonna go through different traits and what is the best trait that you would pick out of players that are currently under the Cowboys roster. So we're gonna start with position. What position would you want to have or build?
We need
this
a
player
linebacker, so
for? So linebacker.
Yeah, we'll do linebacker.
let's make a linebacker.
Linebacker.
Let's build a linebacker.
What would you name your linebacker?
You know, there's currently a dude in college named the coldest to ever do it. That's his name.
I don't want to laugh at this man, but
D Mamas is doing it.
come on, man. Really?
The coldest to ever do it exists.
Wait, back up for me. So break it down. What's first name? What's last name?
The coldest.
The coldest is first name.
And his middle name might be to ever do it. And his last name's like Johnson or something. Let me look this up.
Come on, man. There's
I
no way.
always thought the best name was like Whitney Merciless for like a football.
Yeah, that's a great name.
Yeah,
That's
but
a great name.
It's the coldest Crawford. Yeah, the
coldest Crawford.
to ever do it, Crawford. That's how I spell it.
Wait, to ever do it though, that's what it's
That's
throwing me
middle-
off.
the
Are you
coldest-
sure, or is it just not a nickname? To
I
ever
make
do it
this
as a
up.
nickname.
Let me look. Go ahead, please.
Brian,
Do
what would be
thing.
the name?
That sounds like a great one for me, man.
You gonna go with the coldest?
The coldest.
The
Absolutely.
coldest
Yeah.
to ever do it,
Yeah.
Crawford. That's his name.
Let's go.
All right, so this is a team project. I guess we're
So
not.
we need a linebacker,
I guess
right?
now we're doing a team project. All right. Let's stay on track,
I'm
please.
not laughing at you, brother. I'm not laughing at you or your family. I'm just telling the coldest. I don't want this to get
I'm
back.
laughing
to
at
be
you.
like,
I think
we
just
laughing. I'm not laughing
creativity
at
in
him.
that family.
It's just
Creative
that
names.
I'd never heard of such a name, but that's hey. You know.
Football IQ.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
Football IQ for our linebacker. And I can't pull Sean Lee's mind into
No,
this?
current roster.
Current roster.
Eric Kendrick gone. Who's the smartest player on our?
Wait, we don't have to go defense. Like we can look over at the
Does
offense
anybody?
for
Anybody.
I think Dak knows defense enough.
Yeah, let's go Dak.
But
Now,
remember,
can
for
we
this
not
game, we
use-
cannot repeat players. So you can only take one good trade
fair.
off of somebody. I'm the one making the rules here, so
Okay,
just
so we can't. Okay, so cool. I'll
abide by
use
them.
Dak's football IQ because he might be the smartest player on the whole thing.
Yeah, because I'm looking at all the other ones. I can find somebody I think in other categories, but football IQ, I think Dak's the smartest player on this team.
Bryan.
Yeah, that sounds about accurate for me.
To be fair though, Sanborn is smart. He just can't get there.
Yeah.
Sanborn
I
is
think he's-
intelligent.
He knows where you got to go.
He know where to go. He just don't always get that fast.
All right, so we're
I'm gonna need Dak later. I'm gonna need Dak later. I think
You do?
for leadership. I think.
But there are other leaders, right?
Are they?
How about for toughness?
Dak tough than a mug. I'm gonna go Dak on IQ. I'm gonna go Dak. Dak.
I think CD's pretty
CD.
tough. CD's pretty tough.
CD's pretty tough.
Yeah.
CD pretty smart.
He is. You're right. He is.
Because I think there's times where he sees things and he knows what's that how things are. Like I said, that was the other day. It sounds on the sidelines. He knew exactly when that play was called, and he saw what the
He knew
coverage
exactly,
was.
yeah.
He knew exactly they were going to score on that play.
all right. So final answer, CD. Y'all want to go with CD?
Let's go CD
We'll do
football.
CD.
IQ.
Okay,
Yeah, we'll go
CD. Okay, leadership.
Well, of course, since we got Dak available to us, let's take Dak.
Yeah, Dak's the best. Dak's the best.
Right?
Agree.
Yeah. Let's go with
Okay.
that.
Speed.
Probably your guy
Turpin or
right?
Jadon?
Jaden or Turpin.
Yeah.
Do we want to use Turpin for anything else?
How about Overshown? The way he runs.
Yeah.
Or are you going to use him for something else?
You know what? We haven't seen Blue play though. Like is he gonna be like as fast as we think he's gonna be, or is
Well, fast is fast.
because we know
He might not.
He's got time speed. There.
Yeah, it might not translate the way we want it to, but I'm just saying like fast is fast.
like we know Turpin's that kind of fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I want to go Turpin on speed.
I would Turpin or like I said Overshown the way he closes on stuff. I think the first two were Turpin was the first one. That came
Okay,
to
so
my
I
mind.
guess you'll be the
I'll
tiebreaker.
tell you what, let's go with Turpin on speed because I think I want to go with when we get to agility, elusiveness. That's why I was thinking, do I want to save Turpin? But I think I got somebody else for that one. So
Okay.
All right, so let's go right into that next one: agility and elusiveness.
okay, I would go there. I would go Demo because I think he has like if you start thinking about like you would think Bryan, you mentioned him for speed.
Yeah.
I think the way he moves around the field, like he knows how to kind of maneuver through trash,
Yeah.
get to the spot he's trying to get to without losing a lot of speed as he's getting there. Now, you could always go with one of the wide receivers, I think, but I think thinking about a linebacker, I think he has a pretty good amount of agility for a big guy. or
Is
a
Deuce
bigger guy.
on the practice squad? Or he would.
No, he's
Deuce
in
at
Denver.
another team.
He's in
Deuce
Denver.
gone
He's in
bye-bye?
Yeah, he
Denver.
gone. We'll see him in a few weeks.
I go Overshown there.
Overshown.
Overshown for agility.
Yeah, that sounds quality to me.
D-Mo.
All right, toughness.
We already use CD? Did we use
Yes,
it for
I did.
football IQ?
Yeah.
Okay.
Donovan Wilson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you start to talk about the way, playing down, Bell was a tough guy too because he played linebacker basically in that dime package. I would say Kenny Clark too.
I was going to say, where are we going to use Kenny? Because he's got to be in there somewhere.
Let me say this: Can I take leadership off of Dak? Because I think Dak might because when I think toughness, I think physically and like mentally. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think Dak's mental toughness means something too.
I agree.
You know what I mean?
So where you going to put? So who you going to put in for Dak at leadership?
You could put Donovan right. Like Donovan's a cool leader. Yeah, Donovan's leadership.
You think he's a
captain?
He might be one of those.
but do you think he is a when I think of Dak, one thing I've heard about Dak, I'm not in the locker room, but what I've heard about Dak is every player in that locker room respects him.
Yeah.
That's the first tenet of leadership. Do you have their respect?
I'm having
right?
a mulligan on something right now too. I'm having a mulligan on the quickness and elusiveness. Is that James Houston?
More than Demo though?
Oh no, yeah. Well, I just was.
If you're trying to save Demo for another category,
yeah, for another category. But
Yeah, I don't
anyway,
know.
but no, let's go.
No.
Demo's good.
I don't know that there's another person in that locker room that has like if Zach was still here, you could say Zach, but that has across the board offense and defense has everybody in that locker room's respect like that.
Okay, so we're sticking with Dak at leadership.
Toughness.
Jake Ferguson.
Leo Fow's pretty tough.
Jake Ferguson gets rocked a lot.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, he gets hit on those seams, and the Philadelphia, we had the miss there, but overall, if you look at how he plays, we'll talk about. He even admitted he goes, man, I let Micah get me the other day, But I think overall, when you watch the ball thrown to him and how he plays and his trying to make plays, he hadn't had the run after catch he's had in the past.
Mm-hmm.
But my man could take some shots and kind of hang on that way.
Javonte Williams.
I was just about to say, are we missing Javonte? I mean, the way he runs tough.
Yeah, he don't slow down at all.
Yeah, I would say.
I think we go with Javonte.
Javonte Williams,
absolutely.
Yeah. Javonte Williams, tough.
Yeah.
Okay. Clutch. Who's the one player you would say? Oh, he's a clutch player.
Right
we don't
now,
see him.
Dak.
What's your picker?
Dak right now.
Yeah, your kicker. There you go, butter.
That is easy. That's easy.
He just stepped up to a 64-yarder. Like, yeah,
I got it.
That's easy, coach.
Could have did
what you need? Yeah, what you need, coach?
That guy, the defensive coordinator in Philadelphia, said he goes, "Hey, get ready in Dallas. That guy's going to kick a 70-yard field goal."
Yeah,
get ready for that.
I didn't like his whole little thing because he's kind of saying that the kickers are now being able to kind of juice balls, and I'm like, no, I don't think that's what's happening.
They do get the whole.
They do get it early, but that's getting it earlier doesn't mean you necessarily can juice it. It just means you can make it maybe instead of it being a slippery ball that you haven't had a chance to kind of work the leather a little bit. Yeah. That's not necessarily juicing the ball. You know what I'm saying?
No, I've seen Bucky beat the footballs up though.
Yeah, but that's
just
just
a hell of a job.
Again, I don't think that's changing the football other than making it less slippery,
right?
Making it
the kicking
better
ball
for playing
thing,
football.
They're in a better spot right now.
Yeah. And by the way, Butter was kicking these before they got this opportunity.
Absolutely.
He's been kicking these long field goals for a minute.
Clutch.
So, yeah.
Clutch.
All right, Aubrey. Confidence. Who's a guy that portrays confidence on the field?
We could pretty much put Dak in all these, huh?
You can.
You could literally put him in every single one of them.
Trevon Diggs, he think he...
Where do you got Tyler Smith in this whole thing? He looks like a confident. I mean, when he plays, nobody bothers him. I mean, it doesn't.
Maybe Pickens? What about Pickens?
Pickens confident.
Pickens very confident.
I think all these. There's a lot of guys in there that probably think they're.
All right.
Yeah, it's hard to get to this level and not think you.
And not think you the best. Yeah.
So final answer: Pickens or Smith.
I'll go Pickens.
Pickens is fine.
Pickens is cool.
Okay. Personality. I just threw this one in there for fun.
Brock Hoffman for a linebacker. I want him to be a chippy, tough dude that push people around and bump into him for no reason.
And just likes pushing people.
Just keep
around.
bothering people.
Okay. So I'm gonna read the whole thing, and then you guys tell me if
coldest is cold.
The coldest, to ever do it.
Yeah.
Crawford.
All right, position.
The Crawford is the best part. Crawford.
Position linebacker. Name the coldest or something like that. The coldest to ever do it. Okay.
Are we gonna use Crawford? We're gonna use we can't name him the exact same name as
Johnson.
Y'all want to be copycats.
Eagleton.
Zero creativity on this show, by the way. Football IQ, CD. Leadership, Dak. Speed, Turpin. Agility / elusiveness, Overshown. Toughness, Javonte Williams. Clutch player, Aubrey. Confidence, Pickens. Personality, Hoffman.
All right, sign him.
Yeah.
Sign him.
Is there anyone of the list that she gave that you feel like that? Which one do you think is the top one of all those traits?
For a linebacker?
Yeah, for the linebacker. I mean, no, just of the player. If you said, okay, this is the number one trait. This is the number one guy.
Dak might be the best leader football's ever seen.
That's what I'm saying. Is the most important thing for your linebacker going to be the leadership?
Oh, okay. So for a linebacker,
for our guy,
I would say I mean, I would say a toughness for a linebacker.
Toughness.
I want my linebacker to just be.
So Dak is your number one for what we want our linebacker to be.
To be fair, if Donovan Wilson was 230,
yeah,
and just kept everything else, like how he attacks and all this kind of stuff, mindset, the leadership patch and all this kind, he'd be. Hell yeah.
Your linebacker and safety body.
We should put some
Who's your best tackler right now?
Tackler?
Yeah.
That's a whole nother question, man.
I know, but let's just add it. We're talking about linebacker here.
I don't even know if we got a good
They've had some problems.
Yeah,
especially in this last
If
game.
you had to pick one out of all the games you've seen,
when Kenny Clark grabs people, he don't let them go. I'll say that.
Yeah.
But as
That's
far as
true.
your skill playing tackling guys, they've had some issues tackling people.
I can't say either one of the linebackers I've been just like, oh yeah, when he hits somebody, they going down. I don't know that I've seen the consistency there like that.
Maris?
He's probably the best of the group.
Of the group, yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I
if
say
you had
go
to pick
D-lineman.
one from, I mean, obviously that's where you're limited based on the positions because not everyone on the team tackles. But
I'm going Kenny Clark because
Kenny Clark,
Yeah,
you
Kenny
can
Clark.
trust
I
him.
would have to go with Kenny, yeah.
And when he's grabbed somebody, they don't get away from him.
That's good.
Okay, all right, that's it. That's
That all you got?
Yes, because we got to go to break.
That's it. Okay.
That's how to wrap the show.
All right, we appreciate it.
Because Derek was late. What do you mean we appreciate it? We have a
No, I know. I'm saying I appreciate you doing the
show. Doing the show.
That's how he ends
I don't
the
know,
show
Amber.
every time.
I took it the same way you did.
Thank you.
All right, we're gonna take our final break.
Let's wrapping up, man.
We're gonna come back. We're gonna get you ready for the game. We're gonna tell you what we think what our predictions are for this weekend. Till then, it's DallasCowboys.com radio.
Every day begins with a promise to work hard and to build a future. That's why we're here, providing the tools, expertise, and John Deere equipment you have relied on for generations to help you get the job done right. We're with you. That's our promise to you, because no matter the project or the challenge you're facing,
we're with you. We're united.
I'm home. Hey, Mom, before you ask, I've done my homework and the dishwasher's unloaded.
Nice. Hey, can you... Hey, hon, yes, I've got the finale ready to play. Here's your wine.
Wow. Isn't it nice not having to ask? We think so. That's why if there's a network interruption, AT&T will proactively credit you for a full day of service, guaranteed. Credit for fiber downtime lasting 20 minutes or more, or for wireless downtime lasting 60 minutes or more caused by a single incident impacting 10 or more towers. Restrictions and exclusions apply. See att.com/guarantee for details.
It's the official men's skincare brand of the Dallas Cowboys, Jack Black. And right now, Cowboys fans can get 15% off their $75 order. Plus, because every deal needs a playmaker, your order will include a free 5-piece skincare set and free shipping. The Jack Black Playmaker is 4 of Jack's favorites and a full-sized intense therapy lip balm. Make a play for the Playmaker at getjackblack.com/Cowboys with the code CowboysVIP. That's getjackblack.com/Cowboys with the code CowboysVIP.
How's it going? You see that Cowboys game?
Oh, I watched. Been seeing some good things.
Totally. They have some talent.
Yup, some great talent.
And they got some fight.
Hoping this is the year.
Me too. Oh, I'm Cody, by the way.
I'm Travis.
Nice to meet you, Travis. Go Cowboys.
Go Cowboys!
Make a new friend based solely on their shirt choice. What would you like the power to do? Bank of America, the official bank of the Dallas Cowboys. Copyright 2025 Bank of America Corporation.
From the field to the festivities, Lucchese embodies the essence of luxury and tradition. Handcrafted with meticulous precision, each pair offers unmatched comfort and style. Stand tall while you're tailgating or cheering in the stands with the Dallas Cowboys collection by Lucchese. Shop the collection today at the Lucchese store at the Star in Frisco or online at lucchese.com. Lucchese, the official boot of the Dallas Cowboys and Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders.
Back to the break.
Choose perfection. Choose LG OLED Evo. Check out the best TV in the game at LG.com.
Welcome back. Final segment of the break live from SWBC Mortgage Studios at the Star. What are you giggling about?
Amber fighting people in the chat. I stopped looking at the chat just to talk to y'all about whoever we were talking about. And I look in the chat, and Amber got like 3 consecutive messages back to back, fussing at people.
Fussing, no. I mean,
What did they do?
there's I'm not even name him, but there's this nobody on here.
And start doing this.
Yeah.
Go ahead, please.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, he's like, oh, what a garbage show for a Friday. Don't listen, bro. Like, who's making you listen? You can easily just tune out. Nobody's forcing you. You have free will as of now. So, like, get off of it. Don't, like,
That's
people
how he
just
sounds.
want to.
That's how he sounds. He sounds just like that.
Yeah, I don't know. But sounds like someone miserable, yeah. Get off.
But they
Get
love
off,
our
bro.
show, though, Amber. They just have
But at the same time, we have a lot of cool people in the chat. So,
Yeah.
by the way, we don't let one negative thing
mess up.
Take over
we don't
all
let
the
one
other
monkey stop the
positive.
circus.
Yeah, shout out. Yeah, shout out to everybody else on this chat making
positive comments.
Having fun.
But Buddy can just go, huh?
Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah.
Reduced him out. All right.
Let me give him. Oh, what I started doing is whoever starts talking nonsense, I just give them a baby bottle. I need to send them. I do the baby bottle emoji. You know.
See, you should have never introduced Amber to the chat. Seriously, you should have never introduced Amber.
That's the best comeback. I feel like you talking to that. What do babies? So you shut them up with the baby bottle.
Hands.
So funny.
All right, proceed. Sorry.
All right, let's get into some.
And then she tell you what to do.
Yeah, right. And I'm going to do it too. All right, here we go. So I got a couple questions for you guys about this upcoming matchup. Check this out. The New York Jets have allowed more points than all but 4 teams. Now, by the way, the Cowboys have allowed more points than all but 1 team in the NFL. Do you expect this is going to be a high-scoring shootout? And if so, who does that favor?
I think it's going to be a shootout every single week, and I think it's hard to favor either side. But I think no matter what the team is, no matter who the quarterback is, I think they're going to be capable of throwing for 300, 400 yards and putting up points against the Cowboys. That's what I think.
Yeah, this one, the thing that I worry about, though, is Dallas has not shown the ability to get pressure. And the one thing that you need to do is get pressure on this guy. It's very similar to what you saw. This guy's a different quarterback. We saw Love last week. When you got pressure on him, it affected him. Balls were in the dirt. He was grounding them, missing some passes. This guy's the same way. My worry is when we went into the Chicago game, we were talking about Caleb Williams potentially running, because if Caleb Williams can't throw the football, then he's going to run. But you made Caleb Williams comfortable, and so now he stood in the pocket and made throws. That's my biggest fear. When you watch the Jets tape, there are times when he does drop back and he'll throw the ball down the field. Garrett Wilson's a hell of a player. So to me, how are you going to find a way to get pressure? That's where this game, because I believe if you do blitz and you come after, you will affect this offensive line and you will affect their backs. But you just rush 4 and not get home. This has got a potential to be a high-scoring game, even with the Cowboys being compromised at wide receiver and offensive line.
Sure.
And I agree with everything you guys said, but I'm going to give a different answer. Something that concerns me here, and that we haven't talked about it this week, is the field. Them playing on that field and the amount of injuries that the Cowboys have piled up right now. So you having your own banged up team, it concerns me, because sometimes when you're playing under pressure, as far as let's say the defense trying to get to that tackle, trying to make that tackle, or trying to get to that player, does this field make you more prone to injuries? That's something that we have seen in years. So yeah, I'm just concerned about injuries right now.
I think teams playing outside is ghetto anyway at this point. You know what I mean? Build you a little dome and quit playing, bro. But I mean, that's something to think about. But as long as it's not raining and people slipping around, I would hope that they're fine. But the Cowboys hurt anyway, man. There's one injury that'll really set all this off and send us into draft season. So, you know what I mean? But
that's not the one we want.
They ain't the one. Anything else? Yeah. See, but
seems like they can withstand a lot.
They can deal with it.
Yeah. All right. Real quick, here's the other question I have for you guys. Which player for the Jets do you think is most dangerous based on the matchups and based upon Dallas's perceived weaknesses? Quinnen Williams, Justin Fields, Garrett Wilson, or Will McDonald?
Quinnen is their best player, but I think the quarterback from the other team is going to be the biggest problem until Flus gets this thing buttoned up. You can go out there and assume that Russell Wilson and Caleb Williams won't have career days against you, but then they just go out and do. So until they prove me otherwise, I would have to assume that Justin Fields throwing the ball, not just running, Justin Fields throwing the ball. I assume he's going to throw for 400 yards until the Cowboys defense proves me wrong.
Yeah, I like what you did on that. I'm going to take Garrett Wilson on this one too. I think, to me, with Garrett, there's the quarterback, if he feels comfortable, man, that's a bad matchup right there. You're playing zone, all the deep crossing routes, the cross the field stuff. This guy run after catch and all that. And he can make contested catches too, contort his body. I'm going to think that the wide receiver can do some damage here.
I don't want to repeat answers, but to me, it has to be the quarterback. Feels like, if we talked about the lack of pressure, and again, if you allow him to be comfortable, they're gonna kill you all day long. They're gonna, and that's the biggest thing right now, is just creating enough pressure to throw him off, because at least in the running game, when you look at that, the Cowboys have had a very decent run defense, so you can at least deal with that. But if you allow the quarterback to feel comfortable and make those big, long, deep throws and escape the pocket and all of that, you're gonna be in for a long day.
All right, let's get some picks. Tell me what you think is going to happen on Sunday. Who wins? What's the score?
Cowboys going to beat the hell out of the Jets because I'm a homer. I got the score being 56 to like 38.
Yeah, I'm going to pick the Jets in this one. I think that the injuries are going to be too much for the Cowboys across the offensive line. We'll see how it all plays out. But, you know, I do worry about the Dallas defense in this one. And I think it's going to be too much. I'm also a big believer in the desperate team theory. I think Dallas played like a desperate team last week. They got the tie. I don't think the Jets could go down 0-5 right now. I just think it's going to be tough. They should have won a couple of these games. They just haven't. So I'm going to go with the Jets on this one. It's going to be a 28-24.
Cowboys didn't win last week neither, Brian. Wouldn't that make them a little more desperate too?
No, I think they had a really good chance of winning that game last week, the way they played. But you know what? Unfortunately, the defensive thing it just scares me with what they're doing right now.
Yes, sir.
I was gonna say that I feel the Cowboys have just as much pressure right now, so I'm gonna pick them to win this game. It's gonna be, in my mind, 30-24, something like that. But I do think that the Cowboys managed to get a win out of this one.
And I'm going to flip this thing on its head. I think this is going to be a game that will be a low-scoring game. I think both teams are going to have some struggles offensively. I think it's going to be the first time this season where we see the Dallas defense actually show up and play really good football.
There you go.
I think that defending this team is really about the quarterback. If you can stop the quarterback, then you can have a pretty good day against the Jets, and I think they will finally figure that piece out, and they will start to look more like a well-coordinated defense. Because I don't think this is players just being horrible players. I think a lot of this is about time on task, guys playing together, coaches getting an opportunity to see what guys can do. So I think it levels out at some point. I think this is the kind of week when it can, especially with all the players that they will lose offensively, potentially for the Cowboys. I think this is a game where the defense is going to have to be that. And so I look at this being a Cowboys win 16-13 on the road in New York. We'll see how that plays.
If the Cowboys hold the Jets to 13 points, we're going to see Joe Milton in the fourth in the fourth quarter there. I really think, as beat down as the Cowboys offense is, the Jets defense just hasn't been great. They just had now look, maybe they.
Can I ask a quick question?
Please.
Was Chicago's defense great?
Nah, man. But sometimes when you get in that game script of them scoring, it kind of messes you up a little bit. So if the Jets can't score, we're going to Golden Corral, sir. That's how
the way I look at that is, I also think this is a game where the Cowboys may say we're going to run the ball a little bit more, and that may slow down everything. So you're not having a lot of those big strikes. I also wonder, is the passing game going to be able to be as effective without a Kevontae Turpin out there? If you've basically got Pickens and then the other guys that you got, and none of them really scares a defense, does that affect your offense? And now you're running the ball a lot more. It slows down everything. I just think it's going to be one of those kind of games. I really do. I don't think this is going to be a high-scoring game.
I feel you, but I think we're moving into this territory where the other teams are looking at 4. Like 4 is one of those guys now.
Yeah,
regardless of who y'all got. Like Flournoy, Tober's wide receiver 2 this week, and that's going to be something to work through. But I think they're looking at number 4 like this is the best we've ever seen them, and they better button it up or it's going to be a long day.
I agree with that. All right. Appreciate you guys, John. So we'll be back on Monday. We'll tell you what went right and wrong for the Cowboys. Till then, for Voch, Lombardi, Bryan, Broaddus, and Ambar Garcia, I'm Derek Eagleton. This has been The Break, live on DallasCowboys.com radio.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys?